What's uppers? Happy Saturday, my peeps. How's it going today? Just wanted to give a slight update. I guess I didn't get approved for the fee waiver, so I got to pay that out of my pocket, and not working at the moment, so that's going to hurt me a lot, but it's for the better good of people in society. So I will take that hit, and I will sacrifice that money and see what happens. Hopefully it's not in vain, like all the tens of thousands of dollars I put into my application and appeal and denial and everything. So hopefully it goes my way and it doesn't go as bad as that did. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I just wanted to prove to everyone out there that we don't need these Second Amendment organizations, or maybe we do, but they refuse to help me, and they only take up cases that make them money. Like they don't want to strike down the CCW scheme because they make too much money off it because of the way they structured the last couple of litigations, where you can only get you could get a CCW now out of state only if you are an out-of-state person who is a member of CRPA or these other two-way organizations. So they set that up kind of smart, where it's like they can make a lot more money off of it, but then also it's hindering people like me, law-abiding citizens, who have to face tyrants like Chad Bianco, who wants to take control of everyone's right to bear arms, and organizations like CRPA, who left me hanging and who is doing horrible things. And I used to volunteer for them all the time. I have dozens and dozens of hours. I made them hundreds of thousands of dollars. I brought in thousands of members and business affiliates and everything else like that. And I did my work. I did my legwork for CRPA, and I made them so much money from so many members. So I put in my work for them, and then when it came down for time to them to help me, they left me hanging. They didn't want to do anything, just like the other people I sent to them. I must have told at least 30 people that got denied in Riverside alone. There's more people in like San Bernardino and other counties like that got denied also, that reached out to CRPA, and they're just like, certain counties they just don't want to mess with for some reason, because of more than likely those are the ones using per medium, and those are the ones who are making the money and making, who knows, maybe a percentage, or they have holdings, or they own the company somehow or another through some shadow company, but they're making money off of this private per medium. So whatever counties are using per medium, more than likely are not going to get sued by CRPA because it's all in on it. We'll see what happens in the near future, but there's they're doing things like using me for my volunteer time. So I go and I'll set up the BB gun ranges and the booths and stuff like that, and put all the stuff out, decorate it all, make it look nice, bring people in, speak to people. I used to speak so much over the weekends and stuff and events that I lose my voice, because I was speaking to so many people for so much, and just trying to drag people in, try to bring people in and tell them, hey, what the cause was and what I believe the organization was doing at the time. But the more time I spent around leadership, the more time I spent around that booth, the more time I spoke to people, the more I found out that they are just in it for the money. And they proved it to me in my own personal case, because when I reached out to them at the time of my need, they just left me hanging and just said, oh, too bad. I even have the email to prove when they told me that we have a close relationship with Chad Bianco. We won't be able to help you or anyone else in Riverside because of that. We don't want to make them mad, pretty much. They don't want to upset Chad Bianco and the monetary relationship that they have going on with him. So it's like I don't know, I guess they trust me enough to tell me that, but that was what they said. So they're in it for the money only, and that's it, for to work along with Chad Bianco. So and one time I knew that they were using me was I showed up to an event and I set up the BB all by myself. I did it all on my own, and those things are heavy, dude, those BB gun ranges and stuff. So they leave everything at my house, and then I go and transport it over to the site where we're going to be volunteering at, and then set up everything. I did it all on my own for this big event. And that was the day I actually made the most money for a CRPA volunteer, according to what somebody told me in the office. They said, you brought in more money than any other CRPA in that one day. You know what I mean? So my name was going around the office for that also, so I did that for them. And a guy from leadership shows up and he goes, why are you setting this up? And I said, oh, well, they just dropped the stuff off to me and they told me to set it up and blah, blah. He goes, there's supposed to be people paid to do this. Like, that's their job. So why are you setting it up and they're supposed to be doing it? I go, I don't know. They just dropped the stuff from my house and I get instructions to do this and no one else ever shows up, except for other volunteers. You know what I mean? So I get there way early, like an hour and a half, 2 hours early, set up, get everything, good and everything. And by the time other volunteers show up, it's like later in the day sometimes. Sometimes they'll show up at the beginning, but most of the time I'm at that booth by myself until some person shows up again, then they'll spend an hour or two and then leave, you know what I mean? And I'm there the whole day. You know what I mean? There's 8, 10, 12-hour days and I'm there just running the booth most of the times by myself. So he got upset at that. So I come to realize, like, dude, like the guy who's dropping the stuff off to me is not supposed to be dropping the equipment off to me. He's supposed to be showing up the day before or that day early, sending it up and having it ready for me. But he wasn't doing that. He was dropping the equipment off and expecting me to do his job. But I did it with a smile on my face because I believed in the organization. I thought what they were doing was good. And then when it came down to me needing them, when it's time for them to give back to me, they didn't want to back me up on my CCW case. They didn't want to do anything for my appeal, nothing for my denial, nothing at all. They held me in no way at all, nothing. So I was upset about that a little bit. I was hurt because all the time I thought they were my friends. I thought like we had like a committee and we were like building up friendship and everyone was respecting me and everyone liked me and everyone. No, it was all false. It was just only when I could provide something for them is when they wanted me around, because as soon as I said I wasn't volunteering anymore, I don't hear from anyone anymore. You know what I mean? I hear from one person in leadership and that's it. He's the only person that responds back to me now because they all don't like me anymore because I'm no longer volunteering. And, and I just didn't have the money or anything to pay their lawyers tens of thousands of dollars to do an appeal for me. So, here I am all by myself filing lawsuits when the Second Amendment organization, who I paid my money to every year, who I gave donations to, who I volunteered for, who I did everything for, okay, left me in the dust and did nothing for me. So I told them straight up, like, I'm not volunteering anymore because when I needed this, you didn't do it for me. When I needed that, you didn't do it for me. When I asked you to strike down the unconstitutional CCW scheme, you would not listen to me, okay? And when I needed a letter for my appeal, all I asked was for a letter from CRPA. I didn't even say anything about good moral character. I just said, can you write a letter to the judge explaining and stating that I'm a member and I volunteer? That's it. Just that. I just want the judge to know I give back to the community and I'm an active member of society and I'm volunteering and I'm giving back. That's all I wanted to happen. They would not even do that for me. Wouldn't even write a letter to say, hey, he's a member and a volunteer. So what do we pay CRPA for? What do we volunteer for? What do we donate for if they're not going to do anything for us? Because I'm telling you, I wasn't doing it only for me. I didn't ask them to take action only for me. I asked them to do exactly what I'm doing, is to challenge the CCW scheme as unconstitutional. And they refused to do it because they're making way too much money off of the little scheme that they got going on, okay? And it is a scheme in every way possible that you could think of it. And they are charging us to exercise our rights, okay? Now, not only just that, they're charging us to ask permission to exercise our rights, and then we're not even guaranteed we're going to get approved to exercise our rights. So like what they did to me, they made me pay my application fee, do this, do that, jump through all the hoops, pay all the money, and then in the end, almost 2 years later, they tell me, oh, you're not approved. Dang, that guy almost hit my ass. If I wasn't paying attention, dang. People are crazy over here in IE, dude. They don't know how to drive for anything. But anyways, yeah, so that's my story with CRPA, my experience with them, and I thought they were a great organization. I thought they were doing great things for us. I thought, and other things like, like gun show bands, like who cares about gun shows, dude? Why are you spending the members' money and time and everything else when we could be striking down the unconstitutional CCW scheme? There's nobody going to prison or jail for gun shows. And gun shows actually suck nowadays. Who goes to gun shows anymore? It's too expensive. Everything sucks there. I don't want to go and like buy stuffed animals and purses and stuff like that when I go to a gun show. Or That's not what I'm looking. I want good deals on guns and ammo. That's what I'm looking for, and they're not in gun shows anymore. It is a horrible scam and scheme. And why is CRPA fighting for gun shows? There's people going to jail and prison for carrying a concealed weapon who are law-abiding citizens, not doing anything wrong. No victim. They just want to defend themselves in public, but because they got pulled over and they were found with a concealed weapon, they're going to jail or prison. Now, that is a lot more crucial, in my opinion, than gun shows. You know what I mean? Who cares? We have way more important issues to worry about. Magazine bans. Let's strike down the CCW scheme first, then go after magazine bans. But that's not the way they see it, okay? Because if we can strike down that first, and then it gives us leeway to go and do a lot more other things, but they don't want to do it that way. They want to stretch it out as far as they can, make as many lawsuits as they can, so that way Michelle Associates and everyone else makes a lot more money, and they're a lot happier that way by making more money rather than striking down the CCW scheme, which is what I had to do on my own with no CRPA, no organizations, no attorneys, no lawyers. Nobody wanted to help me. Nobody believed in me. Everybody thought I was some crazy curly hair guy that just, was crazy or something like that. But all I wanted was for the best of the people. Okay, that was it. And that was all I ever intended. So anyways, that's my story, people. Stay tuned into my channel. I'm going to keep everybody updated on my case and how it's going, and it is now on record, and you can even look it up online now. So it's on Pacers and all that. So look at my petition, sign my petition, share it, and on there you'll see the case number and everything that's going on with everything there. So go ahead and sign the petition, share it, because the more we have, the bigger the voice we have, and we could use that to our advantage. So take care, people.